Hey guys, welcome to Sippin' and Spillin' with Sid
And Mike.
from 3 Mississippi. We're here. It's colder than it looks.
It's
today.
chilly.
Yeah, it's beautiful out, but it's chilly today.
Yeah.
And what are we doing today?
Well, today we're actually planning improving our parking here. Right now, we could have like 1 or 2 people come over and park here comfortably, but you can't comfortably turn any vehicle around in our driveway. A lot of people wind up backing into the lawn. UPS guy winds up getting stuck occasionally backing down this hill over here. So we're trying to come up with a plan right now to kind of improve the overall parking here. And then we also want to do some gravel in the backyard. And we kind of want to talk about that. So we're going to take you guys along with us while we have basically
a meeting.
Yeah. And yeah, let's see how that goes.
Yeah, so the part of the problem here is too, some of this gravel over time, I guess, is sort of worn away and compacted, yeah. And so in this spot right here, we'll take you guys over here first, I guess.
Careful where you step.
I know.
Swamp.
It's kind of swampy right in through here. And so it's kind of just this low, try to get further back so you guys can see. You see where it's just kind of a low little area and it just collects water and it becomes basically a mud pit right here. And so we were talking about kind of extending the driveway from here with the same gravel over to just like this front little area here, kind of where those first 2 posts are. I'm just gonna mark it.
Yeah, and you know.
Oh, they're not gonna be able to hear you. He's gone too far. Hold on. My little leggies across the swamp. All right.
So, you know, here's my thought, and I haven't talked to Sid about this, so you guys are catching our first conversation about this. But if this area were all gravel and you could park up front here, well, take a look at this. This kind of seems like a walkway in.
Yeah.
Which would mean we would just have to move this like over to there. But I feel like we should have the gravel come all the way to here, okay? So that if you park, because you will start parking here once this is done. It'll be easier for you to park right here and just walk in right there.
Well, a lot of times I'll go through the garage because depending on what I'm unloading,
right,
I do take stuff into the garage to the other fridge. So.
But now, if you want to stand right here,
yeah,
and film me walking over to there, and I'll mark where I think we should take the gravel.
Okay. See, part of my concern is that, like, I don't want this to kind of block the view from the porch. But I guess that would really only be an issue if you had a bunch of people parked here. I don't know. I don't know if I'm overthinking that. So kind of this diagonal, I guess, from here to there, which is a lot of gravel. I'm kind of concerned that this might be a more expensive project than I'm willing to partake in, but we're gonna find out. Oh, that's old. I threw that in a fit of panic. So I found this. It's a wasp's nest. When I was digging in the flower bed several weeks ago, I found that mixed in underneath the dead hosta twigs, and I flung it like a frisbee anyway, that's what that is.
I feel like if we go from there to there with gravel, we have created a lot of additional parking, but equally important, the ability to turn around like a trailer the size of like my tractor.
Yeah.
You know, we would be able to turn around without having to back anything into the yard, because when it's wet.
Oh yeah, when it's muddy, like if you're not in 4-wheel drive, you will get stuck in some spots because it's not flat either. Like this is a low spot I'm in right now.
Yeah.
So there's some areas that are like that, and then this whole section where those white flowers are behind me is kind of like a ditch, I guess, for lack of a better.
It just slopes down.
It slopes
pretty
down,
steep,
but it's
yeah.
kind of like a little. It's a baby
But
ditch.
if you back, you know, trying to turn around, if you back around that way and your back tires go down that rather steep slope about a foot down, you'll spin your wheels and dig a trench down there.
Yeah.
So I feel like we need to bring in probably a yard of dirt for this area right here, just to build up this little low spot, and then put in the geotextile fabric, obviously weed barrier, and then put in probably a good sized dump truck load of gravel. Probably a full dump truck of gravel right here.
How big's the dump truck?
Like 20 yards.
That's a lot. That's
Yeah.
a lot. That seems like a lot of Look how pretty all the flowers are. It's like so springy outside today, even though it's chilly. And our pear tree is blossoming right there.
Yeah.
That's the real pear tree that actually makes fruit.
Right.
Not the pretend one that just smells like the wrong end of a baby. That's the one that's up there. The Bradford one. The stinky one.
And see, I like it.
It's pretty looking, but it doesn't smell good. You don't think it smells good.
I don't go smell it.
Oh, well, I don't recommend it. It doesn't smell good. Your plant went sad.
Yeah.
But everything's starting to do stuff. Okay, so now...
So then, do we add more gravel to this area that is gravel?
Yeah, so this... Okay, so just for reference, this is in front of the garage. This is where I generally park, okay? And the gravel kind of starts to fade out right about here. But there is like a old kind of buried railroad tie-ish situation. If you walk all the way up here, and you can see where there's like old gravel, like right here, and there's right at the edge of this back patio line here where the cement is, there's a tie. So I had said to him, depending on what the quote ends up being, I was like, I think we just gravel this whole area right here in front of the shop where we tend to park our cars, and making this a lot more accessible for that as well, for, you know, getting in and out of the garage and the shop and like this whole area.
That's a lot of geotextile fabric, really, because we need to put fabric down.
Yeah.
Weed barrier on all this too. Now this is well compacted because it has been graveled in the past.
Yeah.
So I mean, some people would say come in, scrape it off, because you've got this root structure now in there from what grass and weeds have grown in it, and that is what gets soft, and then that's what causes the gravel. When you have soft upper layer of soil, the gravel then can get compacted down into it. But you know, I think that honestly, if we just put fabric down on top of what's here and put more gravel on top of it, that would probably remain relatively maintenance free for several years.
For a minute.
For several years, yeah.
But I don't know. But if that's like ridiculous to do, like that's the thing too. A lot of this depends on like, is it $5 or is it $50,000? You know what I mean? So I think if
It's not $5.
no, I know it's not $5, but sorry, walk with me, Gimpy.
I'm coming.
his legs bothering him, so he's moving a little slow. But it was me last week, and this week it's him. So this right here, I think we would just kind of stop it. Where were you thinking? At the edge of the garage, kind of where the driveway sort of starts to end naturally?
No, I would bring it all the way this way.
Oh, he wants to go.
Shop.
Oh, he wants to go this way.
Don't mind all this trash, guys. I'm making a dump run, so I'm sorting some stuff.
It looks worse before it gets better. That's what
Yeah.
he keeps telling me.
I think we'd bring the gravel all the way in front of the shop. And you know, I don't know if they can actually see this ditch, this slope right here.
Well, maybe. Yeah.
You can tell it slopes pretty good right here, and you see some bad tire ruts in here where people have backed down here. I say we go ahead and we put, you know, a half a yard or so of dirt in here to fill this in. You want it to slope a little, because this is how the water is flowing off of our drive and down this hill. But I say we reduce the slope by a good bit, and you know, maybe go ahead and add gravel back here as well, up to
that pine tree.
Nah, we don't need to go that far.
Well, I don't know where you're going.
I think You know, the furthest that anybody has tried to back out right here is probably there. I mean, if we took the gravel back to about here,
Yeah.
pretty much all the way to the fence.
Yeah. That would give you
And that
you know,
would be
frame of reference.
that would be a really good spot to park an RV when somebody comes to visit, because I'm going to have a 30 amp on the outside of the shop right there. So somebody could park an RV right there, have a little bit of shade from those pine trees,
Yeah. See
be
the
off the
shade right
drive,
there? Yeah.
and be able to hook up to the shop 30 amp.
Well, okay. So that's the front. So that's what we're thinking of doing out here for the gravel, and to fix some of these low spots that become like mud pits. Now in the back, we're trying to make it a little bit more like we could hang out back there. We could entertain back there a little bit more.
Yeah.
You know, especially with, you know, Freedom Weekend coming up and having some of our family YouTube friends coming up. You know, we want to have an area where we can kind of entertain out here. And this big oak tree that I'm walking under right now, and now Mike's under, is a good spot because we get we're up a little bit on a hill. And so we're in a spot in our little town that has one of the highest elevations of a little over 300 feet. We are up there high. We're like the penthouse of our town, okay? So we fancy like that. So we get this nice little breeze up here almost all the time, even when it's really hot. Sometimes the breeze is a little more humid than others, but that's besides the point. That being said, this little combination of being under this tree, having the little bit of breeze, is kind of a nice spot. And I don't know if you guys can tell, but there's kind of like already like sand and stuff right here in a big chunk of this area. They used to set up the previous owners used to set up their outdoor above ground pool out here for the summer. And so they've had that sand down here for years. So this kind of spot right here, we were kind of thinking of doing some gravel, not around the whole tree, because obviously we don't want to deprive this big beautiful oak tree right here, which is starting to come back. It's got a few little buds on the top, of, you know, being able to get moisture and stuff because we've suffocated it with a bunch of gravel. But to do it kind of in some kind of like I guess like a half circle, kind of spanning out this way, I'm thinking. But I've gone back and forth between, do we just do like a square coming out from it? But I think more of like a circle with like a border of like a border, how you say it, like a paper stone border or something, like some kind of thing to define where the edge is to help keep it in, you know, so it's flat, but like in, you know, and kind of just sort of where this big area of the sand has been out here, because it won't grow blah, 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 blah. It won't grow grass right here anyway.
Yeah, so I mean, I would like to be able to drive the tractor through here without having to drive over the septic tank.
Right.
So I think that right about here is probably
Like
as
edge.
far this way as we want to go. And then a lot of times I drive the tractor right through there where to the right of that pole.
Right.
So I would say, you know, kind of making a little bit of a circular.
That's what I'm thinking, is
Basically,
around the tree, like the
yeah,
shade
basically
of the
where
tree.
the canopy of the tree is.
Like here we are midday, and the canopy of the tree sort of shades this little
Pretty much
circle.
right above me here, yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of like following that line essentially of just around like in a half circle, but not like going all the way around the back side of the tree, but out in the front facing this back patio, which eventually we're going to build an outdoor kitchen. But that's a project for another day. But
I almost feel like,
uh-oh.
see if you can picture this.
Oh no.
Okay. So we drive right through here a lot, and there's that pathway back there that we drive on a lot.
Right.
And then we drive up and down that pathway a lot.
Correct.
Okay. So what if this gravel that we're putting right here met with that pathway, and then we graveled that pathway all the way to where the gate is not, right?
Right.
And then we gravel up that pathway to interconnect with this right here. But we right, even with the middle of the tree,
Yeah.
we don't gravel that little patch of grass. So we have a little island of grass in between it right there. And it's a kind of a shaded area too. What do you think of that?
Does that fix that mud spot right there?
Yes.
Okay, then I'm for it. If it's not $1 million.
It's not going to be $1 million.
Well, is it $5?
It's not going to be $5.
Well, I like $5 better.
It's going to be it's going to be a few $1,000s.
I don't like that word. Anyway, well, okay. So depending, that would be maybe something. I feel like that would be an extra that would be like if we got a really good deal and could like do that, but not necessarily top of the list. That's how I feel about that.
Okay, so then top of the list, what's the minimum gravel in this area right here that you would want?
I feel like, okay, I feel like from like here, kind of, right? From, see where that post is, Michael?
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys can see on here, but there's a post directly across from me in a half circle going all the way around. Mike's got flags here, so I'm walking by the flags. Going all the way around. And I'd have to measure it so it was equal, or otherwise it would drive me crazy from the front. So obviously haven't done that. All the way to this side. Like that. And then this whole thing right there would be gravel right here. But not like gravel. It's the same, what's it, shale, shirt rock stuff?
Similar to shirt rock.
Yeah. It's
Brown gravel.
Yeah, brown gravel. It's like a, I don't want to say soft gravel, but it's more polished. It's not as jagged as like that gray gravel that's almost just like concrete.
Here's the thing.
Oh, he's over here.
So
Hold on, my little leggies.
let me just show you something. Can I take the camera so
Yeah.
I can kind of try to show? All right, so if we're standing, if I'm standing right now in the area that she wants graveled, okay, that pole that's kind of leaning, there's a gate hanging that's going to hang there, okay? So that is my hat's in the way. That is a drive-through. Yeah, that's a drive-through. Okay. And this area that she's now standing in is the drive-through that goes this way. So I feel like if we're going to bring the gravel all the way to here, we should also fill in front of that drive, because eventually, that's where we're going to be. Vehicles are going to be turning, going in and out of there. What do you think?
Well, that goes into your pathway, doesn't it? That you were just talking about?
That's right. So
So I feel like it depends on the quote.
depends on the price.
Yeah, to me that's
It's all
what it
about money.
It all comes down to, is it $5 or is it $50,000?
When the guy comes to give us a quote, I'm gonna let you ask him: is it $5 or is it $50,000?
Well, it's just a matter of how many zeros they want to add. But anyway, guys, that's what we're thinking of doing. I think this is going to be like a really nice kind of hangout spot for entertaining, being able to have, Sip of Freedom weekend out here, and then any friends or whatever, if we ever make
Oh
friends.
yeah, we'll
I don't
have
know.
a fire pit out here, and during the summer, we'll probably spend a lot of time out here
Yeah.
if it's comfortable.
Yeah, not in August. In August, we'll just want to hide.
In the
But
air conditioning.
yeah, but there's still days where it's not too bad, and in the evening, if you build a fire and can keep the bugs away, it's not so bad. But yeah, that's kind of what we're thinking. So let us know what you guys think, guys. If you have any other suggestions or ideas about any of it, I guess. If you think it's a good idea, yay or nay, or if you think no, don't gravel anything and just you should put paver stones everywhere, or you should put linoleum down out here.
Linoleum.
That'd be
idea.
yeah, right. So you got pollen on your nose. What were you smelling? I don't know.
Flowers.
Flowers.
You got to stop and smell the
The
flowers.
flowers. There you go. Anyway, guys, that's it. We appreciate you. I gotta call Frankie back because she was blowing up my phone while we were filming that. So we appreciate you guys. and stay blessed. And as always,
Safety's off.